Welcome back. In the last video we made this grid transparency for our drawing class and for our self-portrait that we're making. This grid is going to go over your mirror or your photograph depending on what we're using. And today what we're going to do is learn how to make the grid on our paper. So first of all, take your paper, put your name on the back. My name's Mr. Lundgren, so I'm going to put Mr. Lundgren. And then put your section number on the back. Okay, flip your paper over, and this is basically the exact same procedure that we did before, but you're just going to change the size. Now, in the last one we made 1-inch boxes. On this one we're going to make 2-inch boxes. So each one of these 1 inches will blow up to a 2-inch box on our page here. So this paper, the image will be much larger than what you see in life. And it'll give you a little bit more detail and place to do detail on your actual paper. So start by the same method. You're going to take your ruler, hold it at the edge of your paper so that the 0 or whatever this is signifying the 0 is matching the edge of your paper there. Then make a tick mark on the 2 first. Then make it on the 4, the 6, the 8, and if you have 10, you can go all the way out to 10. Most papers will probably stop before 9, this short way. Then slide your paper, or rather your ruler, all the way down to the bottom of your paper. Do the same thing. Hold your 0 at the edge here, and then make a tick mark at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, then you take your ruler, line up the tick mark at the top here, and then line up the tick mark at the bottom here, and draw a line. Make sure you draw that line lightly. Mine's fairly dark, but you want to draw it as lightly as possible because we're going to erase these lines later, and you don't want a big old nasty line going right through the middle of your eyeball. So make them light. Here's my very lightest line. You can probably barely see it in the video, okay, but I wanted to make one light one so you would see. That's how I would do it if I was just doing this on my own. But since I'm doing it for a video, I'm going to press a little harder so you can see it better. Okay, but this one that's there, you can barely see it in the video. You want yours just that light, super light, as light as you can possibly have it and still see it. Okay, because you want to be able to easily erase it afterwards. So there's a 2-inch, 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 and a little bit shorter because the paper ran out. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to rotate my paper just like I did in the last video. I'm going to keep my ruler lined up with the 0 at the edge of my paper, and this ruler right along that line I've already drawn. I'm going to make a tick mark at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 ends my paper, so I'll end there. I'm going to slide my ruler down to the bottom of my paper, keeping it so that the 0 is at the edge and the ruler is parallel with the edge of the paper. Going to make a tick mark at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then nothing at 12 because that's the end of the paper. Then I'm going to hold my ruler vertically so that those tick marks line up perfectly. Draw my line. Remember, make it nice and light. Mine's dark for the video, but you want yours as light as possible. Line up my ruler with the next tick marks. Draw it. Line up the next tick marks. Draw my vertical line. And draw my vertical line. And one more last vertical line. Okay, so here is my grid on my paper. Each one of these boxes are 2 inches tall by 2 inches wide. Our transparency was different, and if I hold this up, you'll see that each one of these 2-inch by 2-inch boxes has 4 1-inch ones in it. Okay, and so what we'll do is when we have our head will probably only be this big, but this one box is going to match up with one box up here. And we'll explain that more in the next video. So that's the end of how to make a 2-inch by 2-inch grid paper for our portrait drawing in art class.